stabilize and build out on top of that.
Yeah. Also, another thing that I think some people in chat are pointing out is that they were pretty close position-wise. And Python, although it's a 4-player map, the actual natural to natural distances aren't incredibly far. And the third base was pretty easy to kind of, shoot off a few units over there to attack as well. So definitely that's another potential thing that Nyoken had going for him in that previous game.
Yeah, it's a very good point, especially with, like, I bet that was actually Nyoken's, like, immediate thought was like, oh, we're close positions on Python? Oh, boy, you're going to get a 6-pack to the face. And I think that's exactly what his plan was. Let's get on in here into game number 6. Spawn down here in the bottom left-hand corner. It is our white Terran player winning the last match, taking us to 3-2. It is Nyoken.
And spawning in the top right-hand position as the yellow Protoss player, we have Roots TT1. These guys have really been going at it, just, bashing each other's heads in these matches. We've had some pretty darn good games, and I wouldn't be surprised if we go for the full 7 series.
Yeah, I'm really, really curious to see how Blue Storm is going to be played here by TT1, and if I have noticed correctly, yeah, we're going to get some proxy.
Looks like it.
Nope, pylon and base. Sorry, I did not notice that. I saw that. That's just a really quick probe scout.
Yeah. Maybe it's because he expects Nyoken to potentially wall off or something, because it's a bit of a smaller choke and there's no high ground, I suppose, to defend between your main and your natural. Go ahead, send in the probe. Maybe he can even annoy this SCV building this Flight Depot, but instead decides to just kind of move forward, steal the gas, Nyoken as well.
Yeah, gas steal. So we're probably going to see TT1. Actually, I'm kind of curious. This could be either TT1 going into an immediate 12 Nexus, or this could be TT1 being hyper aggressive with some sort of like really crazy tech build. The gas steal here is just really annoying, and the bunker on this position on this map is really hard to defend.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you have Zealots that could potentially come in through that small choke. Although generally they're not too good against the bunkers, but maybe that combined with the Dragoons could, force those SCVs from repairing the bunker and have to deal with Zealot and micro round and stuff. So it's additional variables that you don't necessarily want to deal with.
Right, and that's like kind of the most difficult spot here for Terran to kind of deal with, is that bunker is also generally kind of closer to a giant ramp that goes up, and the Dragoons can really abuse that very well. Now, we're seeing TT1 not grab any gas, just grabs the gateway, probably going to start spouting out a couple of Zealots here to go immediately across the map.
Yeah, I also like that Nyoken decided to build an engineering bay at TT1's natural and not complete it, so he's blocking that expansion from coming out. I suppose Nyoken anticipated TT1 wanting to get a bit of an earlier expansion, and his resources are building up. He almost has 400, so he is posturing himself to take that expansion. He knows that there's the engineering bay, though, and he will have to deal with that before he can take an additional expansion.
Yeah, and because of that, we're seeing... actually, this is going to be a really interesting situation. I thought Nyoken was going to try and actually finish up that engineering bay. If you block like a Protoss' expansion and you know they have gas, you generally want to have a missile turret coming up right behind that, because it could be Dark Templars as a response. The old SC2 saying of one behind Dark Shrine. Instead, we're actually seeing TT1 still go for something weird, and in doing so, goes that proxy pylon over there at the 9 o'clock position.
Once again, TT1 trying to be a little sneaky. He's shown he can play the macro game, but he's also shown that he is prone to these hyper-aggressive, cheesy early game plays. In addition, no expansion from TT1 quite yet. He's got the minerals. He's using them, though, to build 2 proxy gateways right near the Terran's third base. I'm concerned, though, because there is a chance Nyoken could use that star sense and kind of snuff that out if he thinks something suspicious is happening.
Yeah, but Nyoken also knows that TT1 was desperately trying to get that expansion down, so it might be that if Nyoken doesn't scout, it's just going to be like, haha, I've delayed him, and that's about it. But if Nyoken starts to get a little bit suspicious, and he also built that bunker really far forward, Dragoons can kind of just sit on the top ramp there and just be, and I think just wail away at that bunker. I mean, which is kind of standard anyway, but it's just really annoying when it's the high ground advantage for the Dragoons as well.
Nyoken, his factory is almost complete. He still has to get the machine shop and build the siege tank if he wants to go ahead and defend against this early pressure. And this timing from TT1, it's got to be super precise. He's actually decided to go ahead and build a Nexus at his natural. So maybe not incredibly all in. I was kind of expecting them to potentially do something like that, though, if he proxied 2 gateways across the map.
If it was like 4 gateways, I'd probably much more closer assume kind of like, the old Protoss 4 gate. But since we only see 3, yeah, you're right. I think this is just going to be just like really heavy aggression, lock the Terran in, get the expansion for free, and go from there. Now he's moving his Marines out around the map, and now he sees 2 Dragoons pop up from a very interesting location. I don't know if he kind of noticed that or not.
I mean, that would definitely raise a few alarm bells in my head if they just kind of popped in from that location. But you'd think they would come from TT1's side of the map to reinforce the Zealot. So when they come from behind, I mean, I'm definitely a little bit concerned if I'm not.
Oh, but the hero SCV gets into the main base of TT1, scouts the Citadel of a Dune. This is a huge win here for Nyoken, knowing exactly what's coming up behind this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, TT1 could end up losing yet another match. He still has those 3 Dragoons, though, and he'll be able to.
Oh my god, does he repair the bunker in time?
Yeah, that's so close! He actually had to bring those extra, like, double SCVs to the bunker, not prepared in time. There's the 4th Dragoon that just completed. He'll go ahead and start on this bunker as well. Nyoken, though, he's got his siege tank. Siege mode has completed, and this will force away the Dragoons for the time being.
A very cute position there for that siege tank. I was like, I don't know if that's going to reach or not. Apparently it does. And that'll kind of keep those Dragoons from wanting to kind of move very far forward in order to kind of snipe out that tank. It's actually also a really scary moment for Terrans. Dragoons are really tanky units. They can take a couple of siege tank shots before they go down, so they can actually just run in, snipe out a tank, and run back out.
That's true. Nyoken's tank position seems to be pretty solid, though. It's kind of hard for his Dragoons to move that far forward and pick up the siege tank kind of a little bit behind a little bit of that terrain. Now he's got a second one out near the bunker, then it should be more than enough to prevent the Protoss player from doing some type of bust. If that's what his plan is, which I don't think it is. He's just, macroing up, building a few more gateways. We don't see any like Templar archives being built, so potentially we're just seeing the leg speed come out from that Citadel.
Moving his barracks a little bit too far forward, taking a lot of damage actually on it right now. Hopefully he doesn't lose that, because that means that he's going to have to build another one before a factory is able to be built again. Does start on a couple of panic factories, I think, or at least, no, actually, no, I don't think those were panic factories. Those look pretty healthy so far. But yeah, that's going to be that's a day ruiner.
I like that Nyoken is trying to bait these Dragoons into the siege mode range, because he has one tank that he was kind of posturing back and forth. There's still a solid amount of Protoss units. There's actually 4 Zealots from the proxy gateways as well, in addition to some other reinforcements. Zealots like leg upgrade has completed. This could actually become very dangerous for Nyoken. His siege tanks are spread out relatively thin, and there's no real support coming from vultures with spider mines or even buildings. The deal with these Zealots with speed and the Dragoon backbone of the army. This could be curtains for Nyoken. Yeah. He's surrounded and just instantly calls the GG. Looks like TT1 definitely out-strategized him in that match.
Yeah, and that's going to be match set and point. That's going to be 4-2 for TT1, taking the victory over Nyoken.
Indeed it is. GG's. Well played by both players. I would like to say, though, that TT1 did an amazing job. I feel like his level of strategy, just kind of always keeping Nyoken on the back foot, really being aggressive with a lot of his builds, not afraid to do these proxies, not afraid to transition out of them if they're not working, and trying to move into the macro game, which he did show that he could certainly take out Nyoken in a straight-up macro game. Overall, GG's to both players. Nyoken, he fell, but definitely not too far behind TT1 skill.
Yeah, that was a